an event about autism or neurodiversity, I get to meet so many of you who have become our community in the past 2 years. So my name is Aditi Gangrade. For those of you who don't know me, I run Much Media and Much Spectrum with my partner Alab, and I'm an autistic ADHD person. A lot of people don't believe believe me when I say this, and after every conference or every talk, some people ask me, "But like, how are you autistic? You don't look autistic," and that is what I want to talk about. I also want to talk about this. Very common thing that I get to hear very often from parents, and because I know that a lot of you here are parents today, I want to address the question or the thought that most parents have about what after us. And when we found out about our autism, we never thought about things on these lines, but in the past 2 years, it's a learning journey for us also. And after meeting so many families, so many self-advocates and people from the community, allies, we have sort of got to realize that it's a very long journey, and for us to mainstream neurodiversity, mainstream inclusion, we all need to come together. Self-advocates, parents, allies, all of us need to come together, and self-advocacy is something that we need to encourage more often. And it doesn't have to be just people like me or people like others who are here. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of self-advocates are there out there also, but we need more self-advocates to come out and talk about their experiences. And all of us, I mean, us self-advocates and even parents, all of you people need to encourage more people to self-advocate. So I'll tell you a bit about our journey with Spectrum, with Much Spectrum. So my partner Alap is going to be 36 now. I am a 25-year-old person, and back then, like when we sort of started reading about ADHD, started reading about autism, the reason why we got into reading these things was because mental health was something that we really were passionate about, and also we thought that both of us had challenges with mental health, and specifically talking about anxiety and depression, and we wanted to read more about these things, and that is when we came across the word neurodiversity, and that really opened doors for us because my partner Alap, who was not able to make it here today, he started reading this book called Neurotribes, and the book really talks about different autistic people. It's written by this gentleman called Steve Silberman, and he talks about different autistic people, children who he has met in his practice and while like in his profession. And while reading that book, Alap was like, I relate to all of these things that I'm written here. And he gave this book to his mom. His mom also started reading the book, and that is when we realized that autism is not the stereotypical thing that we mostly think, that someone would not be able to make eye contact. Yes, there are those traits in some people, but in some others the traits might be different. And especially autism in women, autism in non-binary people, autism in trans people is very different from what is written down there in DSM-5. And the world of social media really opened up for us because we started reading about autism by autistic people, and some people were from India, but some were from different countries like the US, UK and Canada. And we saw that there's a big movement, that there are so many people, it's a big community, and this community is not so vocal in India. And that's also sort of our motive, to bring forward autistic people, to bring forth neurodivergent people to talk about their own lives. Yes, also including caregivers, yes, including parents and allies and professionals, but centering neurodivergent people to lead their own narratives. And the things that we have come across, I mean, uh, it is called a spectrum, and it is different in everyone. And as soon as we realized about this part of our identity, the first thing that came to our mind was, because we are filmmakers, we need to document these experiences of other people and get to know the diversity of neurodiversity. So we went out, we did this series called Alag Hai Kam Nahi. For those of you who have not seen our channel, you can go out there and watch it. Nehal here has been a part of that series. It was lovely meeting her parents, and we spoke to all of them in that series. We met Gopika and Veer and so many other people. And we realized that for this movement to go forward, all of us need to come together again. And the bigger challenges that I am sort of seeing, so I have someone who's disabled in my family, and I had a person who was disabled in my family. I sort of I lost them last month, and they were like severely disabled. They were blind. They had other disabilities also, and they were autistic also. So my family didn't know much about autism, and they always came from that thought of school of thought that these are behavioral issues, right? So when we speak about autism, most people think that it is something to be fixed, something that needs to be cured, or something that needs to go away or needs to be taken out of that person. But that is really not how it is. And all of us self-advocates here in India, now we are a big community, thankfully, and all of us are advocating to talk about this exact thing, that yes, we might need therapy, yes, we might need interventions, yes, we might need medications for certain things and help with certain things, but our autism is not something that needs to be fixed or cured. So that is, I think, the main thing. And about my family member, I really want to, like, without delving into details, I want to talk about rehabilitation. Rehabilitation is something that is not systemized in India. There are no specific rules for rehabilitation, and I think that I've been reading news about people who have sent their kids or sent teenagers to ashrams or to places where they take care of disabled people. I think before sending people to these places, I think we really need to research well about these places, and we need to also examine if these places are fit for our people. And we need better care systems for people who really need that kind of care, people who are severely disabled, and not just believe in anything, because we are not burdened. We are not people who need to be dealt with. So I think for that to happen, we need to start talking about our experiences on social media. And why I'm saying that is because from India right now, when we talk about autism, there are some self-advocates. There are parents like Gopika, there are parents like Nehal's parents who are doing a wonderful job on social media, talking about their experiences. There are self-advocates, but until and unless more of us start talking about our experiences, I don't think that movement will grow bigger. And I mean, people need to be held accountable, right? And when they see that we are a big community, like there have been previous movements, like the queer movement in India, that community is so strong because people who are queer, people who are parents, people who are allies have all come together join hands and really come out on offline and online to talk about experiences and to hold people accountable when there is something wrong happening with another queer person. So I think same needs to happen for the neurodivergent and disabled community for us to really make our autistic and neurodivergent people more, I think, stronger because right now we are all like out there in silos doing our own advocacy. But like this event is a great example of us coming together, and I think that's my message. If any of you have any questions or anything that you want to ask. Yes, please.
Yeah, I have a couple of yeah, I have a couple of questions. One, is there, like, currently as someone who's also into self-advocacy, I want to understand if there's a system in place that allows us to kind of gather together. Because one thing that I've been struggling with for the most part is finding other like-minded individuals, specifically to get together and have this be a thing. And secondly, this is less of a question, this is just more of Rishabh says hi to what that's any sentence.
Sorry, I didn't hear the last.
Rishabh says hi to both of you, he sends his love.
Oh, thank you. So about the first part, sorry, what's your name?
I am Jay.
Hi, Jay. So there are a lot of spaces. So there are certain groups that you can be part of. We run this group called Lived Experiences India. And that's a group for parents and self-advocates and allies to talk about issues that are related to neurodiversity. And we are all sort of trying to find ways to self-advocate together. So that is one place. You can always DM us on Much Spectrum. We are on Instagram and LinkedIn and YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are online, whatever is accessible for you. I think you can DM us, and we are always happy to have self-advocates talk about their experiences. And we have like a group of people now which is more than 120 now, and that's solely for autistic people. So you can join that. You can talk to other people. There are people from all over India, literally from North India to South India to Northeast, everywhere. People from everywhere are sort of realizing they are autistic, and not just people who are diagnosed earlier in their lives. Yes, there are people who are diagnosed earlier in their lives and they are also part of the group, but also late diagnosed people, people who are diagnosed maybe in their 30s or 40s or even 60s. My father-in-law got diagnosed 2 years ago. He's 66 right now. So he's also autistic and he's a part of that group. He's also a doctor. So, it's a very diverse community. So you can always join us.